It's me, Stephanie Robbins, your affiliate manager, doing a Facebook Live on Facebook. So I'm gonna kind of ramble a little bit in the beginning to let people join on. But essentially this Facebook Live is going to culminate the knowledge that I learned over at Social Media World about how to take advantage of Facebook in general. And we're going to talk about, this is definitely for people who are new to Facebook, and hopefully if you're an expert in Facebook, you can glean some great tips here as well. Hey Monica, hey Heidi, thank you so much for being here. So we are going to be talking about Facebook personal pages, Facebook business pages, and Facebook groups, and how to maximize each of those and which ones are the most effective. And we're going to start off by talking about CBD and Facebook, and kind of what we can do and what we can't do. And then we are also going to talk about a little bit about medical disclosures, what we can and what we can't do. No problem, Brian. I'm super happy to see you here. And FTC, Federal Trade Commission stuff. So we're going to talk, my guess is, for like maybe 15 minutes, depending on how fast I talk and how many questions you have. Feel free at any time to, use the little pop-up window and ask questions. If I'm unable to get to your question because I'm on a roll, then I will answer it in the comments. If you're watching this recording, you can absolutely leave comments and ask questions as well. I will be checking it regular. Hey, Bill from Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin. I was in Green Bay recently. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna get the negative stuff out of the way. So we're gonna talk about Facebook ads and whether or not you can boost a post. And the answer at this time is no. And I really wanna stress this because I wanna let you know that you should not try to do this. So what happens is if you try to promote a CBD product in a Facebook ad and a Facebook boost, you have the possibility of not being able to run any ads on anything else, or when they release CBD and they allow ads for CBD or boost for CBD, you won't be allowed to do that. So it's really important that you don't kind of push the system. There's nothing that says that's the truth. This is kind of what I've heard, and I'd rather you guys be cautious and stay away from that until we get the announcement that it is approved to be able to do Facebook boosts and Facebook ads. With that being said, you can do Facebook boosts and Facebook ads for health and wellness. So I do want to bring up that point that you can drive traffic to your site and collect email addresses, and then on your site talk about CBD on a separate topic. So if you really are into doing boosts and ads, that would be the approach that I would do. So for instance, if you have a focus on health and wellness, you might have a post that talks about anxiety, and not have it be pushing CBD, but then have a link on that post to talk about CBD and anxiety within your site. And I also want to talk about, anytime we talk about a social media platform, you have to realize that you are at the mercy of that platform, and you do not own your followers and you do not own your content. So anytime you're doing anything on Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube, I highly recommend driving people to the site and collecting email addresses. Hands down, the best affiliate campaigns for Joy Organics are, email campaigns that are going out to a targeted group of people where they've, opted in and trust you and enjoy the information that you're providing. So with that being said, and I will add a link to this, I'm creating an asset page that also has a PDF that you guys can use as a download. That's kind of like a CBD 101. And you can use that as a insert your email address to get this PDF. And that will be free for you guys to use. Also on this asset page, you'll be able to download files, social media sized files, just regular image product files, all the products in one file, a whole bunch of stuff. So that's going to be launching soon. All right, so with that being said, we're going to continue on laws and things of that nature, and we're going to talk about FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission. Because you are an affiliate, you always need to let people know that you are an affiliate in every post that you do. So an easy way to do that is just do hashtag ad. I think a more successful way is to use your FTC and actually use it as a way to let people know that you earn a commission, and that in earning those commissions, it gives you the ability to continue to provide education and information that they're clearly enjoying. So, usually it will say something like, hey, but this is an affiliate link and I earn a small commission that I use to, continue to host my blog or to continue. The PDF will not have active links to connect to the file. I wouldn't be able to put everybody's individual affiliate links in there. So this is really just something for you to collect email addresses, Bill, versus like using it as a way to drive sales. However, you're welcome to go into the PDF and add your active links if you like, but I would want it to be your affiliate link and not a general link. So there are no active links in there. The next thing is just to talk about really briefly medical disclosures. So things you want to avoid is obviously saying anything about CBD as a cure. You don't want to be flagged by Facebook or the FDA that you're not being compliant as far as, and this is like in general health and wellness. So you never want to say like I had anxiety and I took CBD and it completely cured it. Instead, you would want to say something like I have anxiety when I'm doing presentations and I took CBD, period. I had less anxiety when I was doing my presentation. Don't like say as a result or anything like that. Kind of leave it open and let them connect the dots. Don't use words that are like medical terms like dosage. I know we say that a lot within the Facebook group, but when you're facing outwards to your followers, you don't want to say dosage, you want to say servings. And I know all this stuff sounds like very nitpicky, but this is just where we're at in the industry. And obviously we're hoping that all these kind of rules and regulations at some point loosen up a bit. But the FDA is just concerned about making sure that people don't, not talk to their doctor and just say, hey, I'm going to, drop my meds and I'm going to take CBD instead. We just want people to be smart about their choices. And most importantly, I want affiliates to be educated so that there's no Facebook hand slapping. Because nobody wants that email from Facebook. So we're going to go over the different types of ways to engage on Facebook. So I had an email recently that was asking, hey, I want to do a business page, but I don't want it connected to my personal page. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to do that in Facebook. However, it's not as though people can see, oh, this business page is connected to this personal page. But you do need a personal page in order to create a business page. It is tempting to create a new profile and have that be like your personal business profile, if that makes sense. But once again, if Facebook catches on that you have two profiles for the same name and town and it looks like it's the same person, then they delete it. And if they delete it and you spent all this time working on your business page, you've lost it. So I don't recommend going that way. I recommend going with a personal page. In addition, I understand, wanting to keep things separate, but another great converter is your personal page. So if you feel comfortable with that, what I typically do is I will put something on my business page, like a promotion, and then I will share it again on my personal page. So my personal page at this stage in the game is probably 70% business anyway, so that's just kind of how things have gone on my social media. Still post pictures of my kids on occasion, but that's just where we're at. So, that's my personal decision. But I do find that friends and family are pretty interested, and I've actually been really surprised that I've had some really great conversions by using my personal page. And I'm going to spend some time talking about Facebook groups. I'm sure you guys have figured out that I'm a huge fan of Facebook groups. So let me explain why. When it comes to your Facebook business page, the business page doesn't do well with the algorithm, meaning that if you post something in your business page, it's a really small percentage of your followers that are actually going to be able to see it. The reason is Facebook makes their money through advertising and they want to make sure that you're paying for it via a boost or a Facebook ad, which is a bummer for us with CBD since they don't let us do that. But we talked about that in the early part. If you have a Facebook group, that's a way to get around the algorithm. Because Facebook groups, especially highly engaged Facebook groups, show up in the feed as a very much a top priority even over some of your friends. You want to make sure, and I'm pretty sure I have it in this Facebook group. Now I'm going to double check it. that they update their notifications to make sure that it shows in the feed. I am like kind of worried because so many people are doing Facebook groups now that, you know, eventually they'll make it so you have to pay to show up in the feed for Facebook groups as well. However, in social media world, you know, they really talked about how the main focus is, and you know what, Yolanda, I see your message about the dosage, and I will get back to you on that, because at this point we're just going to talk about the Facebook information. But I will reply to you at a later date or later time. So anyway, but right now the Facebook group, they're all about engagement, and engagement is the strongest in Facebook groups, because here's the thing is they're opting in and they're saying, yes, I'm interested in this. And then whatever you can do to encourage that engagement, you want to do. So before I went to social media world, I made a total rookie's mistake, and I love to do polls because I thought it was cool, because you know, you could see how many people said yes, how many people said no, and it was like an easy checkbox. But what I learned is the engagement that happens in polls actually doesn't help you at all in the algorithm. So never do a poll. Instead, write which ones of these do you want, and have it be like, 1, do you want to do a Facebook Live? 2, would you rather see a newsletter? 3, you know, etc. And then direct them to put those answers in the comment section. And while it's kind of a pain to, like, you know, redo, you know, do the results and tally up on your own, it helps your algorithm and your placement to a point that it's absolutely worth it. So anytime you can get engagement, you want to do it, which is probably why you see this technique a lot of the times, because people love GIFs. I'm like totally guilty of that. I just think they're cute and fun. So you'll see something like, tell me about your day, in a GIF below, and then people upload the GIFs. So that's a way of getting engagement, even if it's not directly related to your affiliate links. Which brings me to another thing. When you're doing your Facebook groups or your business page or your personal, you know, I see a lot of people doing a really great job of this. Krista and Chantel do an amazing job of mixing it up. It can't just be sales focused. You want to have a combination of like maybe a little bit of humor, a little bit of education, and then also some posts that have affiliate links. If people just feel like they're constantly being sold, they're going to tune out or, you know, opt out, which you don't want. Another thing they talked about as social media world for Facebook is that they take a super high priority at having platform-specific content, or content that lives in Facebook, right? So here's an example of that. I gave you guys like the terpenes video, and I was like, yeah, you guys could like embed this on your blog, which I stand behind, is like awesome, and we have another one coming up here soon. However, on the asset page that I'm going to share on the Facebook group, I'm also going to give you the ability to download the MP3 file as well. So Facebook will put at a higher ranking a file that you upload versus a link into YouTube. So anytime you can create content within Facebook, it's going to have a higher. So Facebook's entire objective is to make sure that people stay and engage on Facebook as much as possible. So you can see if they're like going off to who they consider their competitor, YouTube, like Facebook is going to allow it, but it's like not necessarily like their favorite thing to do. So anytime you can keep the content within, and once again, mixing things up, I think it's great to link to outside sites. You guys see me do it all the time with the Affiliate Resource Center. But, you know, if I can put a long post in there, if I can have a lot of engagement, you know, I'm going to mix that up as well. That's also why you see a lot of people where they'll do like, instead of putting the link in the main post, they'll put the link in the comments below, and they'll actually say like, click on the link in the comments below, so that it's just the image that shows up, or they just have an image referring to it, but then in the comments, the link is there. And that's because they're trying to show that it's native Facebook content. So that's something that's really important to keep in mind. I think those were the big things that I wanted to cover. The key is engagement. Oh, and I also wanted to cover, within the Facebook group, there's a tab, and it's on the left-hand side, that calls Insights. You really want to take a look at that insight, see what people are clicking on the most, what they're engaging in most, and then there's also a time. So if any of you are wondering why I chose 4:30 today. The reason is because I looked at the times when most people in my group are on Facebook, and based on that, I selected a time to do a Facebook Live. And so I'm gonna be mixing it up just because I know people have like different schedules, and I'm gonna be kind of playing with that as we go forward. But you wanna really maximize that insights, and you're always looking for, you know, tips, like what posts do they engage in most? What type of, like, was it more casual? Was it more educational? You know, was it a particular product that they engage with most? They give you all this really great content and analytics. You wanna make sure that you're using that. And then the last thing I wanted to cover, and this I kind of stated in the beginning, is, you know, with any social media platform, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, you want to make sure that your goal is to collect and own the customer relationship or the follower relationship. So whatever you can do to get them to your site and to get them to engage in your site and give them an email address, you want to move forward on that. And I know that feels at this stage in the game like maybe a little counterintuitive because everybody's kind of feeling like email's dead, but it's not. People are still engaging on email, and it's still the top way to do campaigns. So that is my super short educational video. Let's see, how did I do? Oh, it was like almost exactly 15 minutes, so. On Facebook, there's obviously a ton of information out there if you want to dig in deeper, but I do have a lot of questions about Facebook, specifically about CBD and just how to promote in Facebook in general, so I wanted to make sure I got online with everyone. I'll be doing a poll. I do really like doing these Facebook Lives. I like seeing you guys on here, and I think last time I did it, we had, you know, quite a few people in the group watch the video afterwards. So I will be putting out another poll and to see what you guys want to talk about next. I'm getting the sense you guys want to talk about like maybe product specific stuff. Just know how I was talking about the medical disclaimers for you, for the affiliates. As a representative of Joy Organics, I have to follow the same rules. So Yolanda, I will answer that, but I also want to say I love, and I have it here. Hold on one second. I love this book. I will probably do another giveaway soon. CBD, A Patient's Guide to Medical Cannabis. And it talks a lot about not just cannabis, but CBD and salves and tinctures and, you know, everything, and just kind of what's recommended, and they can say it, dosages. And I will refer to this book versus kind of throwing out what I use. But just remember when it comes to dosages, and I've talked about this at different times, just like any medication, like I have a super low tolerance for any type of pain medication. And my husband has a much higher tolerance, and he's also like double the size of me. So, you know, what we take for even just like ibuprofen and how we react to it is like completely different. So I always recommend people start at a lower number, like maybe 10 mg to 20 mg, and then see how that feels, and then work their way up from there. So that is kind of like my overall, and I would assume it's the same with dogs as well. That, you know, you want to kind of play with it and make sure that you're not overdosing. So it's better to be cautious. And there's actually some studies show that like it's somewhat counterintuitive, but like sometimes the more you do, it's actually less effective with CBD. So you want to find that sweet spot where it's the best for you. And then it totally depends on like what you're using CBD for. So if it's like for anxiety, then you're going to want to take it right away. If you're going to, you know, if it's for insomnia, then obviously you're going to take it, you know, before you go to bed. If it's like an autoimmune, then you're going to be taking it regularly throughout the day to help with inflammation. So there's no like blanket answer to that. And that's why I reference this book, because I can actually look in the index. I just had somebody that was just diagnosed with arthritis, and she was asking me about it. And of course I recommended Joy Organics, and I looked up arthritis, and it actually had on here medical dosage and delivery, and I pulled it up, and I felt confident about giving the information versus kind of like guessing. But that is what they recommended, was starting with what they consider. This book talks about microdoses, and I know personally I have found that useful on my journey with CBD. Hey Chantel, it's good to see you. I'm gonna do a little wave there. So finding resources that you feel comfortable with and being able to reference is a huge help. As you all know, a lot of what we're doing is education. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Oh, so Bill, you have stickies. That's a good idea. See, I just use this index. But there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of this is like the miracle pill and it helps everything, because it does help so many things. It's kind of easy to get wrapped up in that. But I really like this book. I really like the leafly.com site, because it's like a nonprofit educational site is another one that's a really great resource to talk about. As far as medical disclosures, referring somebody to a site is completely kosher. Leafly doesn't use affiliate links. So you always want to make sure you're not referring it to a site that is maybe even an affiliate for Joy Organics, because we have quite a few CBD review sites and educational sites, or even for another program where they're going to be kind of taking away your follower. So that's why I like Leafly. I like this book. Let's see, here's a question. Oops, it looks like Katie is awesome in answering the question that I did not get a chance to click on the see more, because I actually do this from my phone versus my computer, because I don't know, I just feel like it's easier. All right, I think at this point, yes, I have gone over my allotted 15 minutes that I gave myself. I figure you guys probably don't want to talk to me for more than 15 minutes on here. And I will be saving this. I will be uploading this video onto YouTube as well, the YouTube channel, if you have not checked it out. And I look forward to seeing everybody's comments. And it's just really awesome to see you guys here. And I think you guys should all do Facebook Lives and talk about this kind of stuff and challenge yourself to push yourself out there, because I totally get nervous before these Facebook Lives, but it's completely worth it. And if you tell me when it's gonna be, I will do my absolute best to show up and engage and cheer you on. So that is my challenge to you, Facebook Lives and videos. All right, have a great day.